Hey everybody, welcome back to the Twin Tractor Trailer Boss channel, YouTube channel. This is Chris again. Although today I'm the regular Tractor Trailer Boss. I'm hooked up to a 53-foot van today. It's probably the first time in about a month or two. Normally I'm pulling sets of doubles, pups. But anyway, I wanted to make a quick video here, sort of give my input for what it's worth on approaching a company you're thinking about working for, because again, I think that in my experience, I learned sort of the hard way my first, few jobs, because, I went in there not asking questions, and if or at least not the right questions, and for whatever reason, I guess I was nervous, or I didn't know that you really had to, ask specific questions and really not be afraid to ask questions, because again, it's a buyer's market. It's a buyer's market. It's our market as in terms of truck drivers. These companies, and again, I'm not trying to sound like I have bad attitude or anything. I'm always respectful. I'm always polite, professional whenever I go into an interview. And again, I've been at my job almost 5 years now. I have no plans on leaving. I'm finally happy. But I had to jump around on a few lily pads, for a couple years there before I finally landed on one that I was comfortable with. And I also think that, everybody's different. One good job for me might not be the right job for you. And I respect that. And I think everybody should really respect that. It's not one size fits all. It's, every job is not one size fits all. You got to kind of shop around for the job that's going to, do it for you and your personal needs. I have a family, so my over-the-road days were limited. I didn't want to do it any longer than I had to. But, there's a lot of money to be made on the road too, although I personally think over-the-road and regional jobs are more difficult to make good money, especially given the sacrifice, that you're making for the company living on the road. But I give the utmost of respect to over-the-road and regional drivers because I believe they're the most underappreciated, underpaid drivers. We're all underpaid. There's no question about it. 99.9% of trucking jobs out there nowadays, the pay is just ridiculously low compared to where it should be. But I guess that's another topic for another post. But anyway, my recommendation would be, and again, if I could travel back in time and talk to my old self, I would say go in there and don't be afraid to ask questions. And don't even be afraid to walk out if you don't get the answers you're looking for from those questions. Again, this is a driver's market. Companies should not have any issue whatsoever with talking about specifics regarding pay, benefits, layover pay, detention pay, is there breakdown pay, all these things. And again, they're common sense stuff. I know you don't need me telling you to ask these, but make sure you get the answers as thoroughly as you're looking for. And again, that's a mistake that I made. A lot of people seem to make, ask. And if you don't get the answer you're looking for, it's not the job for you, man. It's okay. No hard feelings. Don't settle because, once you commit to a company, especially an over-the-road regional company, it's not so easy to get out of there, and it's a pain in the neck. So ask questions, especially about pay and benefits. Find out about detention time. Find out if you're paid right away for detention time. I heard this wild story. This dude told me a few months ago that, he was with some company, I don't even remember, an over-the-road company where they said they got detention time. And he was at this warehouse waiting, 8-9 hours to get loaded. But the carrier told him that he could put in for detention time, but he's not going to get that time until the shipper pays the company for it. That's friggin' bizarre, okay? That's crazy. That to me shows a company that doesn't give a shit about their drivers. And that's another thing. All these companies, whatever you do, especially if you're a new driver, if you're an older driver, you probably don't need me telling you this, but don't look at these ads for drivers and we love our drivers and home time, and big money. Man, if they were all that good, they wouldn't even need to be advertising, okay? Back in the day, and not even back in the day, really, 15, 20 years ago, and again, it's back in the day, but it's not even really that long ago when you think about it. A lot of the trucking jobs were way better than they were now. And they didn't need to advertise in desperation to the extent that they advertise today. I mean, yeah, they put out ads when they needed drivers, but it's like the Vegas Strip now. You go on Craigslist, you go online, you look at billboards and posters at truck stops. It's insane, and they all look like Club Med. They all look like they have a big fat driver with a big wad of money in his pocket, sitting down, laughing with his kids and family, and his arms around his family, home time. Man, look, I would say the majority of them are full of shit. Okay? They're full of shit. If they were that good, they wouldn't have to recruit. Everybody would be working for them. I mean, it's common sense stuff, man. Guys, girls, it's common sense stuff. So don't ever be wooed by a company based on their bullshit ass propaganda, number one. And number two, ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask any questions. Shit. I was afraid, or I didn't ask questions for whatever reason, and I ended up working for 2 or 3 companies early on in my career, and it was a waste of my time. I wished I would have, asked them, and found out more, did a little digging, because I could have saved myself some pain and suffering. And again, by asking questions, you save yourself time, energy, and headaches most of the time. So ask about pay. How does it work? Ask about benefits. How much are they? When do they kick in? Ask about retirement. And ask them, hey, do you guarantee me a certain number of miles or money per week? I see a lot of companies doing that now. And again, I think it's a step in the right direction, I guess. Yeah, you should be guaranteed like $1,000 a week. And I know some people, especially in certain areas in the country, are like, well, wow, I don't know if that's practical. Make it practical, okay? Don't settle for a company that's not going to pay you at least $1,000 a week. $1,000, okay, before taxes is nothing, man. And again, I'm not trying to sound like I live in the Northeast, so it's expensive to live in regardless. But even if you're living in areas where cost of living is down, this is a huge responsibility here, especially with all the new laws and regulations. It seems like every day the DOT and the laws are getting crazier, and they're breaking our chops more and more out there on the road. Safety. And look, let me tell you, if you don't know already, and again, I'm sure a lot of you guys do, then you get into any kind of accident or you get pulled in, they find it's all your fault. It's all our fault. Doesn't matter. Somebody could T-bone you. They're going to find something to blame it. They're going to find some excuse or some kind of blame to put on the driver. So when you take all that into consideration, I even think $1,000 a week is bullshit. I think it should be probably a time and a half to double that. But again, it's baby steps. Let's start with something at least more realistic. But ask questions, and this is the key. Talk to a driver. Even if you have to wait outside the gate of a terminal until you find one, don't make your decision on a company until you talk to at least 1 or 2 drivers. The more the better, because they're going to tell you the real scoop of what's going on there. And be open-minded too, because you could find a driver that's just postal, that's disgruntled. But try to talk to drivers of companies that you're looking for. Even if you have to wait for them, like I said, outside the gate. Hey man, can I buy you a cup of coffee and pick your brain for a couple of minutes? I mean, most of them you wouldn't even have to do that. They'll just tell you. But that's what I started doing when I started going to these companies, pie-eyed from their propaganda brochures and the way they talk to you at first. It's, oh, come on in, Chris, we love you, you can make big money here. And then I'm stuck on the side of the road in McAllen, Texas for 2 days, finding a load. My load's not ready, I'm broke down, and they're trying to figure out not getting paid, giving away money. I just got sick and tired of being sick and tired, man. But anyway, and the final thing, and again, this is super important, guys, especially if you're career-minded like me. How many old dudes do they have working there? No disrespect to you old guys. I love you. You guys are continuing to teach me things. But judge a company based on how many senior guys are working there. Because what that shows you is, one, can people work at this place for the long term? I mean, yeah, it's easy to find guys for a year, two, couple of years, but can people stay there for a career? Because if they can't, there's something wrong there. If you walk into a place, if you walk into a company, you see all dudes in their 20s and 30s, and again, I'm in my 30s, but if you see all dudes in their 20s and 30s, there's a problem there. That means that either people aren't staying there that long. Why? I wonder. It's probably because of the way they're treating, they're paying, or both. But and also how many old guys are working there tells you, is the job, do people have the ability to do the job like physically? A lot of these companies want you to unload the trailer. A lot of these companies want you to work the dock. Especially at LTL where I work. A lot of these companies, they want you to be whatever they need you to be that day. Hey, you know what? Even for $1,200-1,300 a week, I don't want it. That's not what I want to do. Okay, if you pay me $2,000 a week, $1,800, $2,000, yeah, all right, no problem. I'll do whatever you want, but not for chump money, man. Don't be a sucker. The only way and the best way we're gonna get this industry out of the gutter and back to prestige again is if we all start raising the bar and not settling for bullshit. Don't worry about it. You'll find another job. If you really want a job and you go to a company and it's not hitting your standards and you're not getting the answers, or you kind of got that feeling in your stomach, well, I like this about the company, but I don't know, there's these other things that I'm not, don't go there, man. You're only going to waste your time. You're only going to waste your time. Even if you go to a company and you're wowed by the interview and you're wowed by everything you're hearing, still go in there with a skeptical mind, like, I'm on the lookout for when the other shoe's going to drop. Because it's just unfortunately the mindset as drivers that we have to have nowadays. It sucks, but you got to do it if you're going to find a job where you're going to be happy. And you got to ask as many questions as possible and demand the answers. Because if you're not getting these answers, then it's not the job for you, man. And obviously, don't go to a job that pays you bullshit, because again, this is a serious gig. This is a serious gig, and it's a serious responsibility. And make sure don't sell yourself short. But anyway, again, if God forbid I ever have to look for another job again, the first thing I'm looking at is how long has your oldest guy been there? That's the best question. One of the best questions you can ask. How long is your most senior man? How long has he been here for? If he says something like 10 years or under, and again, 10 years is a long time, but it's not a long time in the grand scheme of things, man. If he's only got a handful of guys that have been over there 10 years, don't go there. It's not a career job. I mean, unless you're looking to do this for a little while, you don't really care about it. But if you're looking for a career, you don't want to jump around anymore. If you don't have a lot of older dudes there, and if you don't have a lot of dudes that have been there for over 10, 15 years, don't waste your time. You heard it from me first. If you haven't heard it already, don't waste your time, man. If I could save you some time, I've accomplished what I set out to do here. But anyway, that's all I got. I've already made this video like doubly as long as I wanted to. So if you're still with me, thanks for listening. I wanted to make some demo videos this week, but this is the first day of sun I've had in like 10 days over here. So next week, we're going to get started on some tutorial videos, I'm going to do some pre-trips and some making and breaking sets of doubles. And then if I ever get a van again, I'll do a demo on back in a van and all that good stuff. But hey, God bless you guys. Stay safe out there. And together we can make trucking great again. But it's going to take, us drivers not settling for bullshit, to make that happen. And that means, we have to value ourselves and not settle and demand fair pay, fair benefits, and transparency, man. If you go to a job and they're being sneaky and they trying to pull bullshit, screw them, man. Go to another job. There's 100,000 jobs out there. You're bound to find a better one. Most of them are bad too, I think. Anyway, God bless you guys. Stay tuned next week. Tutorial videos. It's the Twin Tractor Trailer Boss coming at you live I'm in Lebanon, Pennsylvania, on my way back to Maybrook, New York. Stay tuned.